This is a simple video to show you how to get started with both Echidna and Medusa. If you've downloaded the eBTC repo, you see that there is a Docker file at the bottom of the repo. And this can be very easy if you've already set up the repo and you can run tests. While if you didn't, then this may take a little extra work. But that said, at the top of the Docker file, you have all the commands that you need. This command says docker build -t means with a tag, and this is the tag that it's going to create. And so you just run this in the terminal, and this is going to build you the image for you. It's going to do 50+ operations. Something that you want to notice is if you're working with an Intel chip, then you want to keep this line, go arch 386. Whereas if you're working with silicon, you will just comment it out. And we have tested it and it works for silicon as well. So just be mindful that if you get errors, this is probably the issue. That said, in order to run the image, you will simply use the second command, docker run it means the tagged container in an interactive mode. RM, I'm not sure, but I think it just deletes stuff. And then this means that it's going to create a connection between the repo that you have and the code folder in the Docker image, which means that once you run it, you're going to enter a new OS that has a code folder, and it basically maps out to all of the files in the repo, which means that if you perform anything in the Docker, it's going to reflect in the real system. And so, but to make it even easier for you guys, we basically just have a command here. If you want to run Echidna, you will cd into code, set up solc to 8.17, and then you will just run this yarn Echidna with this modality. Whereas if you have issues with running that, you can try this command right here, which is yarn and git submodule init and git submodule update, and then basically the same thing, which effectively means that it's going to also download the properties library, the Open Zeppelin stuff, all of the extra requirements. My advice is for you to be set up in a way where if you go into code, packages, contracts, you can just run forge build and it should work. If you're set up in that way, then you should not have any issue from here on out, with the exception of Medusa, again, complaining a little bit. That said, I'm just going to show you me running the command, which again, I will just be at the root, at the start of the Docker file. You literally just come run this second command right here, and it's basically going to set up Echidna, and it's going to run for you. It's going to be fairly slow. That's why we also have Medusa, but it's going to be extremely thorough. So it's a great idea for you to try that out to test the invariants.